Hello and welcome back to Deadfire. So we are in the guild ruins and it looks like it's going to be a proper dungeon, like proper full size. So we'll see whether we're going to do it or not. The previous dungeon we went into was a little bit high leveled.
I'll take a
The
peek.
one before that was high leveled, so we'll see. We'll see. Oh, something back here we missed already. Okay. Yeah, how could we ever live without the obsidian flakes? Right. Door. The stone door is sealed shut. A few engraved symbols stand out among the other carvings and inscriptions. Apart from that, you find no evident means of opening the way. A faded inscription is nested among the elaborate stone carvings. Well, perception, work your magic, search for a locking mechanism. As you search among the door's ancient carvings, you come across a stone panel that seems to protect an internal mechanism. The panel remains fixed and unmoving. Okay, so we found it, but we can't do anything with it. Read the inscription. Hoana runes decorate the stone entrance. Amati would not have gifted her chosen people a watery covenant unless they persisted in deserving it. The sanctum is a covenant of our making. Only the sigil of the covenant and the words of my devotion will open the way. Pariki, master of the guild. Alright, let's push against the door, see what happens. The door stands resolutely shut. No amount of brute pressure will influence that one way or another. I'm going to punch it. You slam your fist against the door with all your might, blooding your knuckles in the process. Someone chuckles. You aim a harsh look over your shoulder and the laughter from your party abruptly goes quiet. The door will not open.
Slippery as an eel.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is we need to go in here, find what we're looking for, and then come out and open the door will have the treasure. Okay. Continue being stealthy. What have we got here? Oh, right, we're allowed down here. Oh, hey guys. Missing string 12? That's an odd thing to say. Why would you say missing string 12?
I got this.
Hello, Water Shaper. Are you giving the tours now, Tekehu? Okay. I still like missing string 12. That's a good one. Alright, what else have we got? We got all of that. We got someone we can speak to.
And what do we have
Akenu,
here?
and there's a trap. Hello, Akenu.
What say, friend? The guild sanctum has seen better days.
The young Water Shaper leans on his broom and smiles at you. Are you a Water Shaper?
Akira. One of middling skill, if I am generous. Not all of us can boast of Takehu's talent. But Nagati touches us differently, I say. The guild didn't used to allow outsiders the freedom of our halls. Akira. But how times change.
What's behind that stone door by the staircase?
A sanctum for master water shapers, I say. No students or outsiders allowed. I have never been there myself. Myro assures me the room has no need of cleaning.
He shrugs, smiling. I reckon that room's being used for part of the smuggling operation, personally, but anyway, what do you do here?
Simply a caretaker. I dust off Pariki's tomb and try to keep the place tidy.
Alright.
Caring for the guild hall usually means drying off what others get wet in practice.
Akenu shakes his head with a weary smile. Okay, see ya. Well, I'm gonna save, because I want to disarm the trap, but I don't know if they're gonna be mad, so... no. That was not the correct person.
Yeah.
We should
I got
disarm
this.
the trap.
I got this.
Look at that. Oh, it's stealing. Yeah. What's this thing?
Watch and learn.
The statue depicts an Amawa woman, her hand extended and grasping the air. An eroded plank sits by her feet, so I'm guessing this is Pariki. Something about the statue calls out to you, the echo of a fractured soul that tarried in this place for long and thoughtful years. You feel victory tinged by grief and regret. Let's inspect the lingering soul. Your vision bobs with the motion of the sea. You stand aboard the deck of Swift Winds, where your mates sharing bemused, self-congratulatory glances as they work. One of them claps your back with approval. You step back and aim a reproachful look at your mate. However friendly his intent, you know there will be a time for reprieve when you are squared away in Nekataka. Something cuts through the water to your port side. an enormous shape just beneath the waves. Someone shouts that the winds have turned in your favour at last. This is followed by an enthusiastic cheer among the crew. You don't share their mirth. Eyes to the horizon, I say. You bring home a mighty gift, though it takes an unusual form, one that you pray in Gati you're able to keep in check. The vision dissipates and your land legs reassert themselves. You know one thing for certain. That was no whale swimming alongside Pariki's boat. Okay. Let's hold her hand. You grasp the hand with tenderness. At first nothing happens, but then a tiny droplet of water forms at the corner of her eye and rolls down her cheek, dripping on the floor. Wipe away the tear. Reach out and draw your thumb down the statue's cheek, wiping away the trail of moisture. For a moment the stone feels soft to the touch. Read the plaque. The words are much eroded and the water damaged, but a few choice snippets of phrases stand out with clarity. Pariki, lure and hunter, cross the length of, and back again, remembered for, cunning deal, Laphus, may her rest, ulti soul, readum. Closer scrutiny reveals that the inscription was purposefully marred, an act of sabotage done many years ago. By the thoroughness you suspect Kith hands.
This is the tomb of Periki. Such disrepair, I say.
Takehu tuts and sighs. Alright. So somebody deliberately removed where she went.
Leave it to me.
I see. And there's some soul of Pariki still left in there? That's weird. I'm gonna save. I'm still thinking there's probably things to fight back here, but we'll see. Grab some of the rubble. What have we got here? Oh, a black pearl. Okay. Hello, water shapers. Don't mind us, just here to pillage books. True stories from the living lands. Only the heartiest of explorers would dare take the long, dangerous trek to the living lands. While there is no denying its beauty, the diversity of plant life alone is a herbologist's dream. The inherent risk in blithely trekking through these pristine hot hills is more than it should undertake. Let me take a moment to tell you about the land itself. Rolling hills, greenery and sun. The whole area feels like a succession of hills and valleys, each with its own ecosystem. While that declaration is a tad extreme, it can almost be said to be true. The combination of sun, geographical location, proximity to fresh water, valley depth, and the existence of hot springs have given the living lands a breadth of flora and fauna. Walk down a hillside into a valley and you will find lush, verdant hills. Climb the next rise and you will see nothing but rock and boiling mineral springs. And the creatures! In my travels I have seen it all, and this place never ceases to amaze me. Trolls. I will never forget my encounter with the trolls of the living lands. I just narrowly avoided being consumed by a giant plant, more on that later, and I was running as fast as I could to get away from it. I broke the crest of the hill and the valley below was wide, green and wet, and covered with low, thick-branched trees. Vines grew everywhere. Between the trees, across the top of them, down to the ground, is a mess of vine and green. Cautiously, I worked my way down towards the basin, keeping an eye out for anything suspicious. It's a good thing I did so. I noticed that not all the trees appeared to be trees. I froze, dropping to the ground, in an effort to minimize my appearance. One of the trees moved, lumbering slowly away from the cluster. It's then I realized it was a troll, stepping out from among a group of trees it had been resting against. With a few more steps, I would have walked right into their home. The camouflage these trolls exhibited far exceeded any that I have ever seen before. I hope to return again in the future and observe them more. Insects. While I have never seen them, I have read reports of giant insects in the living lands. Centipedes, flies, mosquitoes and hornets, all 10 times the size you'd see them elsewhere. Imagine making camp. You've gotten everything set up. There's a nice fire going next to your shelter. Something is gently simmering in the cooking pot. You sit down, finally feeling that you can relax after a trying day. You feel a tickling at your feet, insistent and prolonged. Reaching down to brush whatever is away, your hand comes in contact with something hard, long, and flexible winding its way around your boot. You look down to see a centipede the size of your arm casually making its way over your feet towards the far side of your camp. You would get out of that camp, wouldn't you? That's exactly what my friend did when he realized he had started his fire over a centipede nest. Plants. And lest we forget, do not let your guard down around plants, or your plant down around guards. I discovered a wonderful collection of giant flowers. They were bright pink and grew in a circle around a central stalk. What an aroma! I lack the words to describe how delectable it was. Sweet, fruity, and light with just a hint of something tangy. Looking closer, I saw some berries growing on the stalk in the center of the flowers. Well, I just had to have them. So I started pushing my way through the flowers. Then the vines growing around the base of the plant began to twitch, and the blooms turned towards me. It was at that moment I saw the blooms weren't actually flowers, but hinged jaws. I'd been fooled by its camouflage. I quickly retreated, pushing my way back out, just in time. The blooms slammed shut. If I had still been standing there, trying in vain to reach the berries, I wouldn't be writing this book today. Interesting.
Challenge.
We'll have that. What else have we got? More boots? No, more antidote. Worried about that. That usually means there's poison nearby. Okay, relentless strikings that increases attack speed, melee damage, and lowers deflection. Interesting. And then just a buff to like all elemental.
Right here.
Interesting.
I got this.
Okay, well let's head downstairs. See what we got down here. Oh, plants. Well, we'll have those. Never know when we might decide that crafting is a good idea. There we go. Some water. Can we travel down this water? We can. Okay, where does this lead? To a grotto. The tunnel descends sharply into the murky waters. There's no telling just how far into the mountain it goes. Oh, okay. So I imagine we're gonna have to come back here later with something. Like this seems like it might be something to do with Takehu's like quest. I don't know what his quest is yet, but all the companions tend to have a companion quest, so I'd assume that maybe when he becomes a master water shaper, this is some part of it. I'm assuming that's the quest end for him, or one of the quest ends for him, is him becoming a master water shaper. But that was cool. We got a little bit of lore. We got a kind of weird thing going on with Periki, where she's like a living statue. Maybe that's the last part of water shaping. You can form yourself into something that isn't water. I don't know. Or you could reform yourself, I guess, maybe? I'm trying to figure out a way that makes sense.
You had no right to interfere in Rawatai's business.
Hawana culture isn't business, you company drudge.
Oh, hello.
I don't give two pyres for your tribal pride, and I wager that our Cmere cares even less.
Pyres are the common base currency of the Valian republics. They're pear-shaped copper coins. Oh, they... No, that should be there. In one sense or another. That can't be they. Yeah, their pear-shaped copper coins are... Or it could be the pear-shaped copper coins are heavily used in the trade hubs of the Deadfire archipelago. There or the. They is just not right. Anyway. Cmere. So, Cmere is an archmage of worldwide renown. The spells bearing his name focus largely on illusion and pain, qualities that he prizes in his personal life and teaching philosophy. Over the years, he has fostered dozens of students, but none have graduated from their apprenticeship to Cmere's satisfaction, opting instead to leave his service in bitterness and resentment over the Archmage's notoriously unfair treatment. He lives in Nekataka at Periki's Overlook, where he operates a local magic shop, the Dark Cupboard. The Amawa woman clutches her fists at her sides. Her severe features are caught in unshakable grimace.
If this is what passes for Rautai in diplomacy, your Hazanui has bigger problems.
Hazanui, a Ratauan title roughly equivalent to Admiral. The more calm and composed Huana smiles, turning when she notices you.
Ah, Takehu. Are you still shaping fountains into phalluses for the delight of bathhouse ladies?
Nakara, I have not indulged in parlor tricks since the last time you visited.
That's a complete lie. We just went to the bathhouse.
As I recall, you cheered the loudest of all for my pillar of liquidity.
Takehu bows, holding her eye contact with an amused grin. Aloth and Zoti hate it, and I love it.
If you've come to see Cmere, you're too late. He left the estate on wizard business.
Excuse me, did you just use the phrase wizard business?
Cmere could be drinking Koiki wine with dead kings. There's no finding him if he doesn't want to be found.
What did you want with Cmere?
The wizard got his hands on a Huana tablet, the Harapo epic. I came to reclaim it for Rawatai. In the middle of my negotiations, this little pest showed up with a claim on it.
She gestures to Netihi.
The Harapo epic belongs to the Huana. The queen sent me to remind you both.
Well, an intact primary source is a rare find for the Huana.
Akira, few outsiders can appreciate what such an artifact could mean to our people.
Posturing about cultural value is worthless. We both want the tablet for the same reason.
So, is there another reason you both want the tablet so badly? The pair go silent and awkwardly avoid eye contact, focusing in different directions.
There are things better left unsaid.
While I'm standing here, you mean?
Akira, I don't deny it.
Who's Cmere?
A spellcaster, and a damn good one. Specializes in hexes and illusions. He and his apprentice run the Dark Cupboard, a local magic shop.
Okay, so how did Cmere come to possess the tablet?
I believe that he had dealings with black market treasure hunters. Not that the queen will implicate him.
She's too preoccupied negotiating with the warmongers at her door.
So what's your plan?
I might as well adjourn to the palace in Serpent's Crown and give Cmere time to think.
What a load of... You mean to get your hands on that tablet with or without Cmere? You island rats can barely write your own names, much less a distinguished epic.
Netihi blinks at her in shock and takes a moment to smooth down the creases in her uniform.
Scamper back to the Brass Citadel and spin your own plots. I will happily do the same on my side of the island.
I have questions for Netihi before you go.
For me? I could use a reprieve.
Netihi watches Tumara skulk away, turning back to you only when she's gone, and lets out a heavy sigh.
These are frustrating times we live in. What say?
Netihi opens her palms, inviting you to speak. Had questions about the tablet?
Akira, I say the relevance of the Harapo epic can't be overstated. It could prove a touchstone for the Huana. It could even... Sorry, you go ahead.
Why is the Royal Deadfire Company so interested in the tablet?
They think the tablet can show them...
Netihi stops herself, weighing her words with care.
Well, the way to Ukaizo.
Ukaizo is a mythical island rumored to be somewhere in the Deadfire archipelago. Some legends regard Ukaizo as the wellspring of Huana culture, others tell of riches beyond measure. All agree that Ukaizo vanished after cataclysmic storms and volcanic eruptions blotted out the horizon, but it remains to be seen if these tales possess an echo of merit or simply romanticize an ancient fantasy.
Akira, it's a mythical island, but that isn't stopping any of us from rushing to claim it first.
Okay, so did you know about the epic before it fell into Cmere's hands?
Akira, from the Journal of Rakua, an explorer who found the tablet on a remote island some 20 years ago. Unfortunately for Rakua, the most we found of her was her journal among the flotsam of a shipwreck.
What could the epic tell you about the Huana?
The story could speak to the values and beliefs of our ancestors. The language structure, narrative voice, and use of metaphor can tell us something about the time of its inscription.
She touches her bottom lip and glances off to the distance.
We could even... I've lost you, haven't I? Akira, I tend to go on.
Okay, so why is the tablet important to you?
It is important to all who call the Deadfire home. I only tell you this because I know you can be trusted. The epic is supposed to contain information on Ukaizo. Nothing as dramatic as a set of coordinates, but anything helps. Stories are also important to the Huana. Much of who we are is still missing.
That's all I wanted to know.
Akira, the pleasure is mine.
Any ideas on retrieving it? I have one.
There's always Facina, Cmere's apprentice. No love lost there if whispers are true.
Natihi shrugs.
Archimere seems to enrage those of his inner circle, not excluding the imps.
Farewell. Okay.
Be right
So
there.
that's why we can break into Archimere's place, like through the underground pit. That's weird. We got some servants, and then we got some people here. White merchant. Interesting. So they're like, yeah, merchant from the DLC, from the first game. Nope, nothing's been said. Okay. Amatia?
Quench your thirst on the way up the mountain?
Amatia inclines her head and gestures to a wagon loaded with kegs. What do you serve here?
Spirits and the like? No one this side of the slope will scorn you for a little indulgence.
She smiles.
Between us, folks tend to linger and spend coin in parikis when they've had a few. Good for business, I say.
Show me what you've got. You have every type of alcohol.
Hey there.
Add
Leave it to me.
and some milk. Okay, the dark cupboard. Well, we might as well go inside. See what they got. Speak to Archimere's apprentice. I'm expecting...
A stifling little den. Do all wizards hate natural light?
Probably. I don't know. I'd imagine so.
I got nowhere else to turn. Stonehill is going to kill me.
Don't drag me into your mess, Bertenno, not again.
Then you leave me no choice. I'm sorry.
Hey, come back with that! Madico!
Alright then. Hello.
And what do
That flaccid pazzo!
This young wizard clutches the countertop, looking as if she's either going to vault over it or snap in half.
Imp, you had none of that, huh?
The imp mutters to himself in a dark, guttural tone.
That's what I thought.
What's weird, I'm looking at this portrait, right? And it's very detailed. Like, I'm thinking, can we recruit her?
What am I going to do? Think, Fascina.
She grabs a fistful of her hair and sighs. What was that all about?
My postenago of a lover stole Rokawa's fingers. The master will kill me if I don't get them back. He must have wanted to raise some fast coin. Archimere will flay me alive over those damned gloves.
Fascina cradles her brow and groans. Well, it is strange that the constructs didn't attack him for stealing.
Is it strange? I don't know. Go consult Archimere's grimoire if you're that curious.
Flustered, she finds any excuse to look elsewhere. What aren't you telling me?
Not that it's any of your business, but Bertenno used to spend a lot of late nights here.
Fascina coughs into her fist and avoids eye contact.
I got into the construct's guts and marked off Bertenno as a safe visitor so they would not attack him. And before you ask, no, I will never do this again.
She crosses her arms resolutely. Why are these gloves so important?
You do not know Archimere, do you? He is as cheap as a Wodican clerk. Whatever he loses from those gloves, he will take out on me. Somehow.
Why does he need the money?
He said that he's in debt to a Rautayan captain by the name of Hamuto Stonehill. By all accounts, a deadly serious man.
Well, I'll get them back for you. Don't worry.
You will? If you are expecting some payment or reward, I do need to keep this under wraps.
I like number 2. We can just say that basically, out of professional pride, we can't let him get away with that because he's giving us a bad name. He's giving all thieves, all rogues a bad name by just being sloppy. Let's say I'm doing my good deed for the day.
If there's a burden on your conscience, then I am not opposed to you offloading it on my behalf. I do not know where Bertenno fences his goods, but he mentioned an appointment at the Bra Citadel docks.
Fascina bites her thumbnail and glares at the door, seeming to wish it would burst off its hinges.
Hamuto Stonehill must be as dangerous as he sounds, or else Bertenno wouldn't be so panicked.
Tell me about yourself.
I am the apprentice of He of Many Colors. That's plain old Archimere to you. What few spells I know have names like Archimere's Dripping Scourge or Archimere's Malevolent Codpiece. He made me conjure a household staff of imps. horrible, chittering things. I think it's because he knows I hate them.
You use a lot of honorifics when you talk about Cmere.
He makes me call him by the titles he's earned in his long career. I can also call him by the titles I've made up since the start of my apprenticeship.
She grins, glancing left and right.
To me, he's the bringer of foul wind, the teeth of suckling imps, and the herald of dirty slippers.
Alright, well, show me what you have for sale first. So, he sells a whole bunch of potions. That's fine. Scrolls. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the golds. There's your golds. Nice. And grimoires as well. Vaporous wizardry. Oh, interesting. Some of these grimoires have extra effects. Nice. So that one we already have most of the stuff on. I was just interested because it gives extra effects. Amulet of Health, yeah, we know what that does. Gwyn's Bridal Garter. Gwyn, having fled her wedding, planned to sail as far away from her old life as possible. With not a coin to her name, she was forced to trade the few items of value she had. With her wedding band, she secured passage to Ader. At the urging of the kind boatswain, she traded her necklace and earrings for a private cabin. The cook accepted her handkerchief in exchange for a few extra rations. Every item Gwyn traded felt like a weight falling from her shoulders, a weight she gave up gladly. When the ship made port, Gwyn lifted this lace band to the first person he met on the docks, wishing him safe travels. The Orland mariner who received it was delighted, if perplexed. He wore it round his waist for many safe, successful voyages, never forgetting the hopeful face of the young woman who gave it to him. So it gives constitution and gives a resistance to dexterity afflictions. Interesting. It's not amazing, but it's interesting. That's a gold grimoire. Why is this a gold grimoire? I mean, it's obviously Lanegrath's martial masteries, but... Alright, I see. So every single one here is like, this is the melee build wizard. I like it. That's pretty cool. I mean, we're not gonna buy it for the price, but interesting. Okay. I do like how some of them have like they have a point to exist, like to existing. Like they all do different things. Like they all have a theme. I like it. Anyway, what's that? Once per rest, summons a dragon or Adragan. I don't know. Interesting. Spellkeeper. +5 to all defenses except deflection against spells, and then grants spell cast, which twice per rest can summons a random scroll into an empty quick slot at the start of combat. Huh. Alright. The creator of this belt realized that organization is necessary for a healthy, fulfilled life. In an effort to organize her ever-growing supply of arcane scrolls, she needed a safe, secure place to keep them. Considering the sheer volume of scrolls in her admittedly hoard-like collection, this safe place needed to be essentially infinite in size, but small enough to be handy. A few experimental enchantments later, she created just that. One by one, over the course of many weeks, she tucked each and every scroll she owned into the folds and loops of her Spellkeeper belt. Unfortunately, the scrolls never seemed to come out of the belt in the same order as she put them in. In her opinion, this seemed to be a small price to pay for the peace of mind afforded by a well-organized home. Alright. Lathandria's Devotion. So, it's a shield, which gives +1 enemies engaged. That's good. It's good for a tank. 3 extra shield deflection, which makes up to 11, I think. Lowers the crit damage taken if you got crit, and then grants Pale Light, which is just an aura, which is just permanently on, which is +3 health. That's amazing. That's actually just amazing. Lathandria was the elf consort to Edworth, a human lord of prosperous Edarian of a prosperous Edarian barony. Her marriage with her own elf husband was a cold one and produced no children. It was in Lord Edworth's true-born son Matthew that she found solace. She loved the boy as a son and cared for him after the passing of his mother, Edworth's true wife. Matthew desired nothing more than to join the ranks of the Knights of Edur, like his father, and trained as a squire from a young age. As he grew into a young man, he excelled in martial prowess and Adarian virtue, eventually earning a command in the colony of the Deerwood. The young captain became known for his bravery and even-handedness in his protection of the Empire's subjects. Esteemed with her surrogate son's accomplishments, Lithandria commissioned a shield worthy of his station, and Matthew wielded it with pride. When the Deerwood broke away from the Empire, however, Lithandria was horrified to learn that Lord Edwarth himself had been dispatched to put down the rebels along the borders. It seemed her precious Matthew had taken up the cause of the Deerwoodans, and after a long and bloody battle, Captain Matthew met his own father in single combat. Matthew's shield, shining in the moonlight, held true, but it was to no avail. The aspiring knight was cut down. Oh, alright. We have Sasha's Singing Scimitar. So, it does a lot of damage, obviously, is the first bit. Extra damage with saber attacks, which I guess all of them will be, so it's 10% extra on top of this. Superb gives it an extra 45. Maybe it's rolled into the damage numbers. It might already be rolled in. Yeah, actually it is rolled in. I wonder if that's the same with Lithandria's Devotion. It doesn't say so it might be, or it might not be. It doesn't show you the calculation. But that is rolled in. Okay. 2%, it also gives a 3 penetration, which I think is also rolled in. Yeah. 2% stacking attack speed bonus for each held chanter phrase. There's a chanter sword. And empowering an invocation returns 3 chanter phrases. Okay. The weapon was once the property of Sasha Ceramon, a chanter of great renown. Her noble deeds and many victories are the stuff of legends. Long have the songs of her adventures filled noble halls and humble taverns alike, though no song sung or poem penned has succeeded in truly describing Sasha's grace with a blade. Her scimitar, an antique blade of exquisite artistry, stirs the air when swung, humming with a particularly vibrant frequency. The sound is a complex, dissonant harmony, beautiful and jarring. It is both a tool of battle and an instrument of song. If nicks along the silver-plated edge are any indication, the chanter carried this scimitar for many years and crossed blades with many foes. I don't like it nearly as much as the sword, but that's because I don't understand chanters. It does do a lot of damage. That's his main one. For me. Ring of Focused Flame, plus 10 accuracy with fire attacks. Doesn't appear to be amazing, like doesn't have any lore. The Spine of Thicket Green. Okay, so more damage, more accuracy. It's extra damage against vessels and accurate against vessels, and then plus 2 to all plant power levels. So that must be for a druid. This gnarled staff is heavier than it looks, owing to the entwined length of amber and adra running down its core. Story goes that this was originally the backbone of an ancient Adragan, who, upon noting the advance of outsiders into her forest, sacrificed herself to preserve its health. Many have claimed to possess shards of her petrified remains, and this is hardly the first spine to boast that distinction. Regardless of its origin, this length of wood possesses an uncanny echo of dormant power. Oh, interesting. I think the only one I'm going to write down is the shield, but still very interesting. Shield, Periki's Overlook. Right, so, hello.
I see no gloves. Then, no news?
I haven't even left the building yet. I need to get inside Archimere's manor.
Imp, go hang laundry.
She holds up a finger for silence, her gaze following the shop imp as he flushes moodily away.
Get inside the manor? Ha! The house is locked tighter than Archimere's clenched fist. Ifrin tried to sneak in. Now he's stuck in a box telling fortunes for pyres.
She thumbs over to the fortune-telling machine in the northmost corner of the shop. Can you at least tell me something useful?
The imps that guard the manor? Idiots. Archimere plays with shape-shifting illusions, so his imps know him by his clothes. Do with that what you will.
Interesting. Very well. So if we had his clothes, we could get in. I like it.
Fortune for a pond, good sir?
Hello, fortune-telling machine.
Salutations. Do you wish to hear your fortune?
The puppet in the box cocks his head to the side and stares at you with a vacant expression. He taps the metal coin slot expectantly. I'd like to hear my fortune. The puppet's eyes close and he steeples his fingers. You hear gears whirling and clicking inside the box. His eyes reopen, this time with an amber glow.
I see a fork in the road. There's a statue of a human. Someone in robes. Take the left fork. If you go right, it could get ugly. Don't ask me why. I can see no more. Unless you give me another pyre.
No, that's fine. But you're not very good at this, are you?
I just told you an accurate fortune. You'll be thanking me when it comes true. Oh, Ifrin, you were right. I can't believe I ever doubted you. That's what you'll say. Guaranteed.
Alright, I had other questions. Well, what's your story?
I got on Archimere's bad side and didn't exactly survive the experience. I'm not really supposed to chat with customers.
He taps the coin slot and winks at you. Well, I wasn't aware it was possible to bind a soul to this type of contraption.
How about you get yourself over to the Animancer's Tower in the Sacred Stair then? No need to gawk at me.
Do any of your fortunes actually come true?
Sure, all the time.
He stares at you unblinkingly, daring you to call him a liar. Do the Huana have any problems with Archimere holding you here as a slave?
The Queen is too pleased at having an archmage at her disposal to care.
His hinged mouth twitches in a sad smile.
I can't blame her. The Huana have got it rough. We all need coin in the end.
I had other questions. I was told you broke into Archimere's manor.
What, am I famous out there or something? Tell you what, 500 pyres and you get the exclusive story.
What could you possibly want with money?
I need to buy my way out of here somehow. 500 pyres greases the gears.
No, see you later. I already know where to get in.
What, are you short on coin?
Yes.
Now I've heard everything.
See ya. Yeah, God. They want my money. Right. The horned bones of a godlike. The plaque simply reads shoplifters beware without context. Alright, I'm gonna go to the living quarters. Why not? Who's stopping us? Basically. We'll see what we got here. A threat? I told you there was stuff here.
This calls for a subtlety. There. What did I consider?
It's not even stealing. Trollhide belt. +1 health restored every 6 seconds. What's Edier's belt? He currently has the Huana Stride belt. I'm going to give him the Trollhide belt. And I'm going to give you the Huana belt. Yeah. That's fine. Anything else we can have here? Yeah, all of this. A fine robe. What's Olaf's robe currently? Oh, it's Olaf's. It is literally called Olaf's robe. Yours is a water shaper robe, which is better. Okay. Blessed incense, and then Basina's journal. The misery of this apprenticeship. Medihio. Archimere saves only the most tedious errands for me. If I'm not going to learn anything from this trial, I must find some way to steal enjoyment from it. Whenever Archimere claims to be deep in study, I will find him wandering the halls wearing an illusory face to trick his imps. Fools them every time. Sometimes I think he came to the Deadfire to be alone with those nasty things, and he spites me for getting in the way of his fun. Shortly after he left town, I stole one of the robes that he keeps in his bedroom. The imps thought I was their master, fed me cheese and ale for the rest of the afternoon. Of course I returned the robe when I was done. Ack, maybe it's not too late to start enjoying myself. Alright, so we get a robe from his bedroom, we're being told. But that also told us effectively the same thing that she told us. So we could sneak in the way we've already snuck in, go upstairs to his bedroom, get a robe and then walk around, basically. That's possible. And then we got one shop left, but I think we're going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. After this shop, we've only got, we've finished this area, I think, mostly. I mean, apart from the bits that we're going to come back to later. And then, yeah, we got more areas. This is a massive city. I'm loving it. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.